Hey everybody, thanks for listening. This is ITD Gaming Appetizers. Today we are going to discuss Among Us and Fortnite. Among Us developers are not happy with Fortnite right now for stealing their ideals. Epic launched a new mode called Fortnite Imposters, and the Among Us team are not happy about it. They believe it is just a blatant ripoff, which let's ask Pat and find out. Pat.
Are any of us really surprised? Is all I'm going to say in the beginning, because, I mean, Fortnite has basically the Epic Games Battle Royale has done this before, if you believe PUBG, because PUBG came out and they're running on the same engine as they are, and they basically said they ripped them off. So it's kind of a weird gray area, in my opinion. I mean, Inner Sloth is basically saying they didn't even try to disguise it. And this is Fortnite. This is a limited time event in Fortnite as well. Just let's get that out of the way. It's not a permanent event. It could be, I mean, if it's that popular, but so basically they're saying their spaceship map is pretty similar and a bunch of other things are really similar to their game, and that Epic didn't try to hide it. They didn't try to hide any of it. But it's kind of a weird gray area, in my opinion, because how do you say you may be the first in the industry to do something, but how do you say that's mine? You can't do that. I mean, because if that's the case, then you can't have Call of Duty, you can't have Battlefront, you can't have these things because they're all just mass PvP shoot 'em ups because they're all the same thing. You can't have any more battle royales because PUBG already did it. So even Among Us is, find the killer or whatever isn't their own idea. I've seen that a long time before they even came along. They just put their own spin on it, and I'll be honest with you, I have not played the Fortnite thing. I'm not a big Fortnite person, but how can you say that this is mine? They ripped this off from us. Okay, you've got a mode, you've got a game that centers all around find the person who's the suspect. Find the suspect, I've found it goes back to that whole thing of, I've seen games where you're the sheriff and you've got to find the killer amongst the group, and only the sheriff can have a gun and this type of stuff. And the sheriff can shoot players. And so, I mean, these guys just took a spin on something that's already been out there as well. They just made their little creatures half-assed, if you will, because they don't look like much. They've got cool little concepts of getting in the vents and doing your own little jobs and doing things and spacing people, but they're not the first to do this. So part of me is on Fortnite's side, even though I hate to say that. I feel dirty for even saying that, but I don't know. Can you copyright a game mode? Can you do that? I'm not even sure you can. I mean, a game mechanic. Can you copyright a game mechanic? If that's the case, then you can never ever have another first person shooter game out there, because somebody's going to copyright a shooter, or somebody's going to copyright a horror game where all you can do is hide from people in the closet. So, hey, my game has this mechanic where you can hide in the cupboard. No other game can hide in the cupboard because that's mine. So Among Us is basically saying kind of the same thing. That's the way I interpret this. They're kind of saying, hey, this is our thing. You can't do it. But maybe they're just trying to get some of that Fortnite money like everybody else. Fortnite's got enough money that they think that they can get away with. I don't think I have a leg to stand on to sue them. But they're saying that Fortnite didn't do anything to try to hide that this thing is just like Among Us. And they're kind of mad that Fortnite didn't basically do a deal with them like they do with everybody else. Fortnite does a deal with everybody else to do crossovers. These guys are just kind of like, why do you do a crossover with us? Just bring Among Us stuff into your game, which is what it is. I mean, they do God of War, they've done Street Fighter, they've done everything under the sun, Legions, Watchdog Legions, all kinds of stuff like that. So it's kind of a weird gray area for me, but I kind of lean more towards Fortnite, that you can't really copyright or protect a game mode. Nick, what are your thoughts, man, on this? It's kind of a weird situation to be in the middle of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they didn't, Among Us didn't patent the idea, right, of this type of mode. So really, it's fair game. Whoever wants to utilize it can utilize it. Even if it's close to what Among Us is. There is no patent for it. There is no like, this is my idea, you cannot steal it type thing. So, yeah, I mean, I think for Among Us, they're just kind of unhappy with the fact that Fortnite put something in there and didn't involve them into it. And it probably would have been, I don't know. I mean, it probably would have been better for Epic to reach out to the Among Us developers and say, hey, we want to put this mode in here. We want some of your stuff in there, like some of the characters and various things like that in there. And it would have been a cool event, but I guess Fortnite looked at it and said, hey, we could just make our own, and did that and kind of just copy pasted what Among Us has and just kind of sprinkle little things here and a little thing there. And there we go. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for the Among Us developers, but again, it's, I don't think they have a legal, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think they have a legal basis to stand on with this. It just kind of is what it is. And so they kind of have to deal with it, could they learn something from this or develop something or have something in place where they do have to be involved with it and be paid royalties or various other things for it? Maybe. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how all that works, but they could possibly put something out there after the fact. But right now it's kind of like, it is what it is. And for Epic, it's kind of like, hey, sorry, but go cry a river pretty much to the Among Us developers. So, Fortnite's going to Fortnite. That's really what it's coming out to. But yeah, I mean, it's a sad situation for the Among Us people. I mean, because those developers really made, I mean, yes, this idea that they've come up with is not new, but they made it mainstream, right? So to them, it probably feels like something that's theirs. And that's granted, but, it's not theirs. It's the community's. And like you said, Patrick, you can't say that, I make Dead Space and you can't have a game like this, or I make Dark Souls and you can't have a game like this, or Grand Theft Auto or something like that.
No more Souls-like games because we own that.
Yeah, exactly. No Zelda, right? You can't mimic Zelda in this case, or Mario. I mean, how many games have mimicked that? Or Metroid?
No more RPGs.
Exactly. And you would run out of ideas, right? I mean,
you can't play with sticks.
People take these ideas like Metroid and Mario and various other things, and they develop in Souls, and they develop really cool games off of them. Some of them are hits, some of them are not, but they take the mechanics and the ideas. So, and that's okay. It's not just games that do that. Movies and books and various other forms of media draw off of the inspiration of other things. So, for the Among Us people, it's going to have to toughen up and deal with it. What do you think, Shane?
Well, it's a little bit more than just the mode. I mean, the mode is, it's a blatant, ripoff of Among Us. And like you said, Pat, it's really, you can't really patent that well. And like you said, Nick, it happens constantly. It's an idea that's taken and then grown upon. I mean, if that was the case, because Among Us is nothing but a mix of Clue and hide and seek. So whoever invented those should be pissed off, Hasbro or whoever. But also the mapping that they use for Fortnite, it's very, very similar to what they do in Among Us, which, I mean, that's blatant ripoff. I mean, there's no denying that they didn't take that and make it look like that just to get that appeal. Fortnite, Epic really screwed up, because if they wanted to do this, they could have had so many more people jump in, I think, if they did a crossover with Among Us. Among Us skins and stuff like that, because if they're going to make this a temporary thing, it's going to help both developers out, in my opinion. Doing that crossover, it was a win-win. But Epic did what they've been doing with Fortnite. They take a lot of stuff and blatantly steal a lot of stuff. They've been issue after issue after issue with Fortnite. But you know what? They're going to continue to do it. Why? Because they're making bank after bank after bank. They're making trillions of Atari coins. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. But I agree with you, Pat. I am more on the end, and I hate saying it, more on the end of Fortnite because of the map is a blatant ripoff, yes. And I think they should be forced to change it. But the game modes, you can't really change. I mean, you can't really say, hey, this is my game mode. Hide and seek is mine. Treachery is mine. You can't do that. Fortnite is a big game, and I think I think no matter what the Among Us developers choose to do, if they choose to do anything, it's never going to work in their favor. It's just not, because Epic is too big.
Right. Maybe they're hoping that Epic will do what they did with PUBG, because PUBG actually sued Epic in Korea, and then there was kind of like an out-of-court settlement that we know nothing about, that Epic basically paid out to PUBG developers, because PUBG said, this is ours. We're in like early access, because PUBG was one of those games that did early access for freaking ever. And then Fortnite's like, here, check out what we got, guys. And so the biggest thing is, so the map that you were talking about and they were comparing, I'm sorry, it's laid out differently. Some people try to do this stupid thing with points on a map, and I'm like, listen, no matter what you do, a game is similar, because if you take a game like anything, like a capture the points game, you have a point A, B, and C. You can only put those places so many times, and the first point you're going to go to is always A from one of the sides. So if you're claiming that because you have a cafeteria here and a science room over here and that over there, nobody else can do that, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to shut the hell up, because you can't copyright cafeteria. You can't copyright science lab. You can't do any of that crap. But they're complaining that the maps have similar points, but they're not in exactly the same places. So like Fortnite may have put something here in the middle of the map, but Epic put it like a little lower and in the middle and stuff like that.
Well,
so I'm like,
that's really not, I think, what the complaint is. I mean, if you would look at one
they're
map
complaining
to the other,
about it.
It's the fact that they are so identical. I mean,
they're not identical though.
They're pretty damn close.
So Fortnite's, the center of their map is like a giant circle, and then it branches off into like these Star Trek saucer looking section. On Among Us, they don't have that. They have a big octagon room in the upper right hand corner, which is their base room. But Epic just did a little circular room in the middle and then spread off into like this, what looks like the Starship Enterprise in the upper right hand corner. And they're saying, well, that equals our science lab that's over here that looks like a trapezoid. And I'm like, you're grasping. I think they're grasping too much. And they may have borrowed it. Who knows? I give them that on the map. Me personally, I give them that on the map. What you did was you lawyered it up, and I agree there are differences, but they went with color schemes and layouts that are similar enough to, when you first look at, if you were an Among Us player, I'm not. I've never played the game. That you would see that go, that's an Among Us map. That's just the way it's set up. But right. But like I said, though, they don't have a leg to stand on in a legal aspect. They don't. There's no way to copyright what they're doing. PUBG was a different situation, because I believe they were developing.
It was basically taken from them.
Right, because I think PUBG was actually developing on Epic's engine. Yes. And so PUBG is basically claiming that Epic had information that they shouldn't have had, and they stole the idea from them because of that. So they settled outside of court. We don't know what happened with that. So maybe Inner Sloth is thinking the same thing. We'll just say they stole this to us and stole this from us, and they'll come to us and be like, shut up, here's some millions of dollars, just shut up, And so, to be honest, I don't like either one of the games. So I'm not a battle royale game, and I'm not a find the killer Among Us type person. I'm like, I got better things to do with my time than to run around with a bunch of kids, somebody stabbing you through a vent and trying to figure out who did it. Who done it? I don't care.
I want to say one thing though. Fortnite better not take basket weaving.
That's Shane's game. That's
Shane's game.
That's right, you bastards. And I'm coming out with an HD version soon.
Well, and then don't forget about the Dr. Disrespect collab that's coming.
That's right. But it is sad that Epic does these things because they are blatant. And it's sad that Epic missed an opportunity to work with a game that's really popular, a developer that's really popular right now, and work together because it would have benefited both of them.
But there may be some legal loopholes is why they didn't do it. Because how would it seem? How would it seem? And I'm just trying to play devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. Let's say they went to Among Us and said, "Hey, we want to do an imposter mode in our game, and we want to borrow these elements, but let's also get an imposter. Let's get an Among Us skin in the game too." And Among Us and them couldn't come to an agreement, and they said no. So they cut ties, and nothing happened. Then Inner Sloth may have had legal things to go after them about because they were working on something together, and the contract fell through. And Epic went ahead and did it anyway. So maybe Epic is thinking, they don't own any of this, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I don't have anything to worry about. But if we attempt to do a collab with them and they shoot us down, they're going to have this as ammunition to say we stole this.
If this whole computer shit you do for a living don't work out, you should really look at being a freaking lawyer. That was straight up freaking fucking lawyer talk right there. But yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, basically, if they said something, that's going to put them more in a legal obligation of something. So yeah, you're definitely right there. They could have said something, but according to the article, it was never brought up to Among Us developers. So
they protected themselves. What Epic did.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure Epic's got better lawyers than was it Sloth?
Oh yeah, Inner Sloth. Yeah, Inner Sloth. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're Epic. I mean, come on. They have their own game store. They got everything. Epic is Epic. Inner Sloth is like this small little indie studio. So
they're a little
Inner Sloth
hanging on
Inner
a tree.
Sloth is the mouse in Dumbo, and Epic is the mom. So they're like squash the mouse.
That mom's an asshole,
right? The mom does what she wants to do. So
the mom dies.
Eventually, that's what's going to happen to Epic. I mean, Epic is taking on some big boys, right? They're they're trying to take on Valve. They're trying to take on all these people. I mean, this is outside the topic, but did you guys see the article this recently with all this Apple and crap going on, where Epic tried to pay Sony $200 million so they would put their games on PC? I don't know if you guys saw that. That came out here recently.
I know about all the lawsuit stuff, but I didn't know about that. That's damn. But Sony's starting to put them out there.
But Epic asked Sony if they would, for $200 million if they would put their games out on PC. I'm sure it had some type of exclusivity clause in there for Epic Game Store for a while. But I don't know what happened. I didn't read the entire article. I didn't have time. But Epic, this came out as part of that lawsuit crap that's going on. But who knows? It's Epic. They're large. They can do whatever they want. They have epic amounts of money. I don't think they have Gabe Newell amount of money, but or Valve amount of money, but
still, they got enough to buy and sell my ass 100 times over. They can buy those Soulja Boy consoles I've been hearing about.
That's right.
Do you guys have anything else before we sneak back into the vents here? And
nope. Sorry, Inner Sloth. But I have to agree with Fortnite on this one, unfortunately, with Epic.
Don't steal basket weaving.
You guys need to make your own Among Us Battle Royale.
Yeah, pretty much. Take it from
It's all
Epic.
knives and vents.
All right. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode. Make sure you hit that notifications button. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your granny. See ya.